Good times, bad times. I'm remaking this video because I have one, but all I do is sort of talk about the triplet the whole time. So this is the video, okay? This is the drum lesson video. I'm going to go through the song, okay? Various parts, okay? So, and then at the end of the video, I'm going to put on the exercises I have in the original video just to show how to speed up your foot, if you need speeding up of your foot. Okay, good times, bad times. We all know how it starts, don't we? The world stood still in 1969 when it first came out. So you have, now I think when you do hear the accents, I think it's just floor tom, snare drum. I'm deadening this a little because it's really, well, fuck it. I won't deaden it. All right, ready? Decompress. That is the intro, okay? Now, this cowbell, I think Bonham used a Ludwig brand cowbell from the 60s. These things go for a crazy amount of money now on eBay. They used to be everywhere when I was a child, which was 10 years ago. This one has a slightly different pitch, I reckon. But anyway, so that's how the song comes in. Ready? Quarter notes. 8 notes. Alright, so now that fill, okay, anyway, this is sort of a cha-cha. Okay? Not really, but you know the routine. Alright, so, but then the fill that comes in. Actually, hang on. Okay? As we all die-hard Bonham-y people know, Bonham used to do that fill all the time, or variations on it. Hang on, I gotta actually do this. I'm doing a Keith Moon with the pedal, because it actually gets caught up in there on these silly pins I wear. But he did that fill everywhere. I mean, a lot of guys did back then. Mitch Mitchell, triplets on the toms, right? Like at the end of all the 60s tunes with, I'm losing my mind. But anyway, so that was a big thing. Okay? But so when he comes in with that, in the early days when he did that fill, it'd be like... There's actually a couple different ways to do it, just to get nitpicky. I might be doing it a slightly notier way on the snare. Anyway, it might just be like... or... like... but like a bigger space. Anyway, neither here nor there. Alright, so the song comes in. From where I'm sitting, that is just every time. I don't think it's... sometimes you want to think it's... or, although later in the song, he does hit one time, twice in a row like that. But, so... Now, there are points in the song where he puts in more crashes than you think. Especially, I think, in the bridgey thing. Well, I always call it the bridge, just because it's not really a bridge. But... hang on. So there's kind of a few more crashes in that part than you kind of think there is. And I think it's a 16-inch crash, in my opinion. But anyway, they're in there. So let's keep this moving so people don't click off and say, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. I paid good money to watch the video. Alright. So anyway, so then, oh, well, real fast. Well, the money shot's coming up. In the tune, Bonham does this the whole time. Okay, he's playing 8 notes on the hat. Okay? The whole time. Okay, except for in the breaks, where the hi-hat stops. So, but what happens is it makes it hard for the money shot. Okay, that's what he does. It's like a nice, you know what, when this bass drum pattern was played, the world stood still. In Soviet Russia, it was accidentally broadcast over their early warning system, and they had to go on Schleifigat Blübe, which is DEFCON 2. What happens is with that triplet, again, and I'll do exercises at the end, it's not really a triplet. I mean, it's a triplet pattern, but the bass drum's just playing, it's 1 and 2 and, okay, you're not going, it's 2 notes. Alrighty? So, as it is played in the song, real fast, when he does the other part, there's kind of 2 paradigms. He sandwiches that bass drum part usually with, well, almost every time with 2 snare notes. Okay? Boom, boom, ba ba, boom, 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 ba ba. When he does the triplet, it's 1. Like every time, with the exception at the very end, where he goes. And you know where that part is, but that's coming later. So, here we are. So then we do the money shot. And I think when he does that first one and the second one, he comes out into a crash. Okay? He loops that one twice. Boom, boom, ba, 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 boom, ba. Okay? And then he goes back to the, okay, and then we go into the chorus. I don't mean to blow through this, but I mean itself. If you get the parts down and you listen to the song, you're gonna get it, right? So then we go into the chorus. Good times, bad times, right? Now the chorus is sort of a different story a little bit because it's very hard, at least for me, to hear what he's playing on the bass drum because it's the lo-fiest of Zeppelin mixes. Which is still a great, don't get me wrong, I think Glenn Johns did it, so God love him back in the day. But just in the nature of kind of what they did, I mean, in the low end and the ride cymbals blasting away, it's kind of hard to hear the bass drum. So I think when we go, I think generally the paradigm is, so good times, bad times. Now I know that sounds silly, but you can kind of hear that extra bass drum when you sort of hear the chord. Good time, or good times, bad. Hear that? You can kind of hear that a couple times. Good times, bad. Anyway, the key is to bash away on the ride cymbal. Sort of cheese out on it, but you kind of really can't hear what he's doing there. But he's grooving. I mean, it's not just straight. I mean, it's kind of like. I mean, it's busy, I think, under there. I think you just can't hear it, okay? But another thing, in this part, and remember, that ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba is all over this tune. Everywhere, okay? Even in all those choruses. No times, bad times. In some reasonable facsimile thereof, okay? Da-da-da to camp. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, okay? Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I think then the crash leads back into the... Anyway, so I'm sorry, just thinking about something else. So, but I kind of, on the very first part of that, he kind of stays on the snare a little first, where he goes to the toms. Okay? And he sort of sticks to that. Those crashes, if I recall, kind of go every time. Okay? Now for practice's sake, you can just loop that. You'll notice I am putting a little grace note in there. I don't think he did. I think it's more. Okay? Whatever floats your boat. But I mean, a grace, maybe there was a grace note in there. Maybe the mics didn't pick it up. So, then we go back into the chorus. Every time you come out of the chorus, bang! Okay? But this one, it's space, as we all know. There's no hi-hat blast and drop. So what happens there is the count would be 3, 4, 5, 2, 4. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And again, he just does the same. I'm sorry. Microphone decompress. And then again, he does the same thing. I think it's just that. Maybe on that one he adds the bass drum. It's hard to tell. Again, I mean, it's not the hi-fi-est of mixes. So now we do the solo, and underneath the solo, just listen to it. Put on your headphones, do a little cueing. Bonham is playing all over the joint on it. I mean, there's a lot going on under it. A lot of heavy, like different bass drum. I mean, it's going berserker. I mean, I'm not going to try and reproduce everything he's doing, but the general paradigms, I think, are... I mean, he really is. Just listen to it. I mean, just listen yourself. And the bass drum's all over the joint. You can do the basic, what you did on the chorus. Silence. But what I can tell you is there's a couple times in that solo you hear him doing the triplet. You can hear him doing that under there. I mean, it's going on in there too, okay? And then we go from, bear with me here, if I put any of the music in here, Jimmy Page and his lawyer types would probably be at the front door like, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding. You know what I'm saying? So then we go into the chorus, okay? Then, good times, into the chorus, same thing, chorus. Now in that last chorus, I don't think there is a... There might be. I don't remember. You know, it's in the cat. Okay? Okay? And then, after that last chorus, we're back into the bridgy part. Instead of da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, I mean, I guess it's like the verse, too. I mean, I guess it is the verse, right? Ba-ba, B, 4. Okay, that just loops, okay? But whatever he's doing on the drums. ba-da-da-da-da. Okay, so imagine that pattern. You can just loop it. Ba-da, but I need to know. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But I really want everybody to lick my fro. You know what I'm saying? I know he didn't have a fro. Whatever. So. Okay, so he does two of the. He does two of those, kind of like he does in the beginning. And then he does two of the triplet-y thingies, kind of like he does in the beginning. But of course, we know the triplet-y thingies are really long the second times around. And it's kind of, part of the thing is, let me tell you, part of the thing is when you're playing, it's hard enough to do this pattern. I mean, it kind of is. I mean, I shouldn't say it's hard. It's kind of like if you've never worked out for a long time. And then you go to do 135 pounds, right, with the 245 plates, and you're like, you know, Michael, get this off my neck, right? But if you do it for like a month, after a while, you're like, hey, 135. So it's something you kind of got to keep up on. Like for me, I'm having kind of a little bit of a hard time with it. I mean, it takes, to do it a lot, if you haven't done it for a long time. Like after I make this video tomorrow, my calf will hurt a little. My micro Don Martin calf, okay? But I mean, just the nature of it. Remember, Bonham was 20 when he recorded this, right? Yeah, he was 20 years old. I'm 40. Do you know what I'm saying? So I mean, there's a physical thing to it, right? So we got to bear that in mind, older drummers. And he used one pedal, right? Again, I think it was a 22, 13, 16, and I think he muffled the bass drum a little extra for it. I mean, if you listen to the bass drum, it's really, it's not, okay? I'm just telling you. So, wait, so we come out. Okay, so he'll do some sort of a drum thing, and then the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da is always, okay, or a reasonable facsimile thereof, 99% of that, okay? But then, so the first two are, but then there's two of, now bear with me here, he goes on and on. That's hard. That is hard to do with those 8 notes going. I'm having a hard time keeping it going by the 12th one. Okay. I mean, I think if I did it for a week, it'd probably be better. So. Oh wait, hang on. Remember, and when he does the triplets on the bass drum, it's not. It's just one snare note. Yeah. I can only get about 8 of those maybe now. But but then again, it's hard to know how far he goes, because then it kind of gets lost a little. So, hang on. So let's get the cowbell out. So, I think he goes like that. Okay. I think it goes on about that long. Okay. So I'm sorry. I'm not the young, spry drummer I used to be. So it's kind of hard to do. But at the end of this, I'm going to give you some exercise. Okay, so we're there, right? And then after that last, we go, I'm gonna love you. Okay, then we get there. I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna love you. Okay. Wait, what is he doing? I'm gonna love you. Yeah, I think it is. It's not. I think it's I'm gonna love you. Okay, so I'm gonna love you. So that's kind of the whole long thing that happens there. That next little chunk. Okay, so it's like. I'm gonna love you each and every day. Okay, so let me do it without all the accoutrement. I'm gonna love you each and every day. Okay, and then it's so you throw the bass drum in there. Okay, so that, I mean, that's kind of the best way I can teach it, because I can't hear you. Kind of need well, I'm gonna love you. Okay, I'm gonna love you each and every day. Okay, you're gonna be the spent by my. Okay, that's the one time then he puts the double in before the triplet. Just at the end of the song there. So then after we come out of the, okay, there's the da 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 da. So coming into the next part is where he does the it's a cool fill at the end of the song that actually sort of has sort of a phantom crash cymbal in it. If you listen, the part where it goes, okay, you know the part, boom, boom. There's sort of a crash that kind of goes, shh, kind of out of nowhere. I don't know if he's tapping it by accident or what the hell went on there at Olympic Studios. So we come out of that. Oh, sorry. Okay, so it's kind of like, so let me get rid of the cowbell for a minute. So damn ye, go away. That's probably what happened. That's probably where the phantom crash came from. So okay, so what that actually is count-wise, let's do it count-wise. I think it's 1 and 2, okay? 1 and 2 and 1 and 2E, okay? 1 and 2E and a 3, okay? It's got it. Those are actual notes in there, but it's just start it, okay? Just kind of memorize it. I don't want to get out the chalkboard and be like, well, this is not something. Those are on E's and U's in 16th note fill. I can just tell you, okay? So okay. One and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. Oh, hang on, I inverted it. 1 and a 2 and a 3. Oh, hang on. Hang on here, people. Remember, I didn't invent this song. I'm not John Bonham. I don't have his DNA coursing through me. But what it is, count-wise, sorry. So we're going to take it from the boop, 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 okay? God, how does he fit that last one in there? Bear with me here, people. Come on. So yes, okay, so that is the count for sure. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2. Oh, hang on, it's 2 times. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. 1 and a 2 and a 3. Okay. 1 and a 2. Okay, so. It does go 2 times. Okay, yeah, sorry. That's it, okay? From the stutter. Okay, sorry. It's, I didn't invent this stuff. we're talking about John Bonham here, and Jimmy Page, and John Paul Jones, those, and Robert Plant. These guys, you know, back in the day. Okay, that's what it is, okay? You know, this is embarrassing. I can't even edit this out. So, let's just loop it, shall we? Let's not beat a dead horse. You know, again, we're talking about Led Zeppelin here, so okay. Anyway, but then there's more. So, and thanks for putting up with me there. You know, I'm obsessive compulsive, as I'm sure we all are. And actually, kind of, if you listen, that's where the Phantom Crash sort of comes in. Ba 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 da ba ba da shh. Okay? But actually, technically, at the end of that fill, you sort of hear this. Kind of hear the floor tom then to the snare. Okay? So let me see if I can reproduce it. Yes! That is what exactly he plays. Alright, so then it fades out and you hear Robert Plant go, in my heart. Like his voice kind of sounds a little funky, right? Alright, now let's get on to some exercises for triplets. And this is the only way to really get these, well, remember there's a couple different triplets. When you say the Bonham triplet, people sometimes think, right? But then it kind of also means, it's not Bonham, but you know what I mean? 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and right? Or 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. We're gonna do the and a 3 and a 4 and a, okay? Right? Because that's what we're studying here. Good times, bad times. So just practice it like that. That's what you got to do. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and or 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. There's kind of no way around it. Now remember, the way it kind of works, and drummers and musicians are often like this, the creative part of us is usually at the opposite end of the spectrum of somebody who wants to sit and sort of like do stuff and kind of master it. You know, like the kid who's for 8 hours in a row is like, ooh, the Rubik's Cube, and a week later he's doing it, you know, with his feet, with his eyes closed, right? Oftentimes, especially drummers in our ADD ways, we're the opposite. So we can think up kind of cool stuff or play to tunes and be kind of musical. But to sit and be like, you mean I gotta frickin' sit there for an hour a day and practice that pattern? No. You kind of got it. If you really want to learn something, you got it. Just kind of shift it in your mind. Be like, you know what, something I really want to do. It's not that bad. Just put a little time in every day and you build it up, right? So here we go. Move. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 triplet, 2 triplet, okay? And then there's different practice things you can do. But that's the basic thing, just to practice like it would be. Eventually you get it fast, right? And God knows in good times, bad times, it's pretty fast. It's almost 16th-y instead of like triplet feeling. Anyway, but here's a couple good exercises which I had in my other video. So you can do like, so your hands are just going 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. hi-hat. And 3 and 4 and... yeah, but it'd be more 16th if you did that. Just kind of think of the Achilles Last Stand gallop, or like... Okay? You know, I mean, it's a classic bottom, but it's groupings of 2 on the bass drum. Actually, you can do that. That's a 16th one. So it's like 1 E end, a 2 E end, a 3 E end, a 4 E end, okay? Or swung. Or consonant notes with the 16ths. Leads us into, remember I always say the bottom turnaround, which is a term I made up, which is really not a turnaround, but I just call it that because I don't know what the hell else to call it. Remember, bottom does that everywhere. Right? So just practice it with the bottom turnaround. Well, don't necessarily do that one. Go. So that is Good Times, Bad Times. And, hang on. Remember, the earth stood still when this came out. You know, I mean, that record, Good Times, Bad Times, apparently opened the record. I never had the record, although I think my brother did. I don't know. I know that the Hindenburg people shat a brick when they saw a picture of the frickin' thing on the cover. They're like, ah, you know. Well, that's not funny, because I think 39 people died in that, which is horrible. But, on my copy, I had a cassette copy that I think was original, and I think side 1 opened with Your Time Is Gonna Come, with that really cool organ. Right? Which, by the way, is very cool. Not only is it beefcakey, but you can hear on the first couple notes a delay. Right? Anyway, so to me, I always had this vision of Led Zeppelin 1 opening with that, which I thought was very grandeur-y. Anyway, so thanks for watching the video. Hope everything is smooth with you. And everything's cool. Sort of. Look at this. See what happened to this thing? Don't fight British people. Thank you. More videos on the way.